Hello, guys. Good morning to you all. Happy Saturday and happy weekend to you wherever you're watching me from. As always, my trade recap for the week that just ended. So, this is my GBPUSD, and let's quickly jump into it. As you clearly saw my post yesterday, I told you I was waiting patiently for price to retest this level. I said I was waiting patiently to see price retest this level before I could go for a buy trade. Before I could go in for a buy trade. So that was definitely what I then said. I said I was waiting patiently for this level to be retested before I can go in for a buy trade on GBPUSD. So on this trade, you can clearly see from the chart that from the 4 hour time frame, price really came back to retest this level. There's a psychological level here at 1.33500, and there is the high of the week that price has just retested. So though the market is officially open for the week, definitely we have to wait till next week again from Monday or from Sunday midnight to definitely see what the market does. But from what I was waiting for, the internet was very poor. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even find this until while it's already has gotten rejected. So let's dive into it. Let's dive into the brain behind it. So, already, like I always say, if you've been following my page and my channel, I do say whenever price tends to break my high of the week or low of the week, price tends to retest that level and then go back to the original direction. So, on this case, I was waiting for that because I knew eventually that price often does that before the close of the trading week. So, if definitely I was to go in for a buy trade, I was definitely going to go in my 15 minutes or on my 15 minutes time frame when I saw this rejection or when I saw price retest this level. So let me remove this rectangular shape. So I was going to go in when I saw the retest of this psychological level here. That's definitely going to be acting as support. And then you can see price retesting the high of the week. So, and another component I do combine as well, based on my understanding of candle formations. Candle formations, and as you can clearly see on this case, I have labeled this candle. I have labeled this candle hammer candle. On my 4 hour time frame, I saw this hammer candle. You can clearly see this is a hammer candle pin bar. So this is a hammer candle pin bar. As you can clearly see, I have already labeled it hammer candle pin bar. And when does this hammer candle pain bar occur or happen in the market or on the chart? It happens when sellers are trying to push the market or push price to a certain level or below a level. But what happens? The buyers comes in and then rejects the sellers' bias of pushing the market to the downside. So that's when this hammer candle pin bar occurs in the market and on the chart. Whenever you see that happens, it means that the sellers was trying to push the market below or to a level, but the buyers had more buying pressure. And you can clearly see the candle. I'm trying to focus on this candle formation that I saw here on my 4 hour time frame. And I want you to focus on this hammer candle. A hammer candle is the sign of a reversal pattern on a trend, and it happens at the bottom at the support level of a trend. And for you to have more confirmation, it must happen on a support level. So that's why this hammer candle for me was a confirmation for me that the buyers was stepping into the market. They were stepping into the market. So that's why I'm focusing on this hammer candle. So you can clearly see. from the 4 hour time frame that the sellers was pushing the market to the downside, but the buyers stepped in because they had more buying power. So it's my understanding of candle formations and candle patterns. So that's why I saw from the 4 hour time frame that this is clearly a hammer candle pin bar, and you can clearly see I've labeled it already. I've labeled it already. So this already add to my component. I do have this confirmation from the candle formation, a hammer pin bar. I do have price retesting the high of the week. I do have price also retesting the psychological level at 1.33500. So this gives me more confidence. This gives me more confidences as well that price is definitely heading to the upside. That we have more of the buys that on this particular time, I'm definitely going to be positioning for a buy trade. I'm definitely going to be buying GBPUSD and not selling GBPUSD. So though the market has officially closed for the weekend, it has closed for the week. So the market will be open on Monday again, but definitely we're going to see what's going to happen. You understand? So that's definitely what I told you guys. If you watch my previous post, I posted. So that was what happened on GBP USD. So on my 15-minute time frame, if I was to take this trade, like I said, I was going to take this trade, enter the buy when I saw the rejection from the high of the week and the resistance, or sorry, the psychological level there acting as support. So I'm definitely going to fall down to my intermediate, so you definitely see what and how it looks like there. So my intermediate, definitely I'm going to show you when I'm ought to enter this buy trade. Like I said, when I saw price retest that level, I was going to go in for a buy trade. So definitely when I saw this on 15 minutes, this is how I ought to have traded it. How ought to have traded it. I was going to go in for a buy trade at this level. So I was going to go in for a buy trade. I like entering from a psychological level, which is support and resistance. I love entering from taking my trade from those directions and places and those levels where it correlates with my risk ratio rewards as well. So on this case, definitely since price is confirming market structure, definitely I'm going to position for a more peak movement for price to eventually break the previous high that was formed by price. So I'm definitely going to position it here, then risk around 30 pips in SL or 29, but definitely in this case, let's say, okay, let's leave it at 29.3 pips. So on this case, I'm definitely going to position like this. This is eventually how I ought to have positioned once I saw price retest this level. Once I found confirmation of this, I was definitely going to position on this level, and once price eventually confirms that, I was going to go in. Sorry guys, my internet connection just went off, and it's definitely not funny. I've been struggling with internet connections, and that's why you've been seeing my chat acting up now. So sorry about that. I'm just trying to connect to see if I can connect quickly as well, so my chat can load up, but unfortunately it's becoming very, very difficult. So I'm just gonna end this video here, and I'm going to break it more down, or rather continue when I do have stable internet connections. Sorry guys, and that's what I've been going through this past last week that just ended. So if you do love how I analyze my trade, my pairs, I want you to hit the subscribe button, like for more.